Welcome all our viewers on the TTT, on Talk City 91.1 FM, as well as on our online channels, YouTube and Facebook, for bringing you live coverage this afternoon of the arrival of the Asante Hene, King of the Ashanti, His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. His aircraft has just touched down at Piarco International Airport at the South Terminal. That's the Vista jet that has brought His Majesty, His Royal Majesty, in fact, to Port of Spain for what will be a week of celebrations in, of course, a special invitation from the Honourable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, to Trinidad and Tobago based on his visit for the Ghana's independence anniversary just before the pandemic. This is a special occasion for His Royal Majesty. He is the 16th in line as King of the Ashanti Kingdom, and 50 persons are accompanying him on his visit to Trinidad and Tobago. They include Queen Mothers, divisional chiefs, linguists, umbrella, which of course is the symbol of authority for the king, as well as hornblowers, Katy drummers, and dancers. And just to give you a context, Ghana, as we know it, is some 5 hours ahead of Trinidad and Tobago in time. This flight was just about 6 hours out from Ghana to Port of Spain, landing at Piarco International. And if you want to have a little bit of context, Ghana is 47 times bigger than Trinidad and Tobago. But on this occasion, we are the big ones as we welcome His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, the Asante Hene, to Port of Spain. Joining us on the tarmac is TDT News' Mahalia Joseph Wharton. Good afternoon, Mahalia.
Yes, so we are currently at the Piarco International Airport, at the South Terminal to be exact, where we are awaiting for the Asante Hene to depart from the aircraft. Now, there's so many people waiting here for him. I can just tell you a couple of the ministers that are here right now. We have the Minister of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, Randall Mitchell. We also have the Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, as well as we have some of the persons on his entourage team who would have arrived before. Now, the Asante Hene has a packed schedule ahead of him, as he is also going to be a part of our emancipation celebrations as well. Tomorrow, he's expected to meet with Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, as well as the President of Trinidad and Tobago, Christine Kangaloo.
As Mahalia Joseph Wharton reports to you from the tarmac, this is the quarter guard that has assembled for the official arrival of the Asante Hene, and he will be greeted at the steps of the aircraft by Trinidad and Tobago's Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Chief of Protocol. And once that introduction has been made, then he will be afforded the opportunity to be greeted by the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs. But this visit to Trinidad and Tobago, as Mahalia has said, is such a packed itinerary with events spanning the length and breadth of our island, and of course a great opportunity for us to see the Asante Hene. Those that are making their way to the steps at this time are all part of his delegation. And let's cross back now to see some of the moments of the special arrival of the Asante Hene, His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. What you see at this time is the umbrella, which is the official symbol of authority that has to be raised before the descent of His Royal Majesty down the aircraft. You're seeing here Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, the Asante Hene, as he arrives in this very historic moment on the land, Trinidad and Tobago. Greeting him at this time are, of course, officials who are part of His Royal Majesty's delegation. He's also greeted there by the Consul to Ghana, Hilton John Mitchell. And now there's an introduction to the Chief of Protocol. And the Chief of Protocol has the responsibility to now afford an introduction to the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs to His Royal Majesty. They exchange their pleasantries pay special attention to the fact that the symbol of authority for His Royal Majesty remains covering him for the duration of the time that he is on the tarmac. Now there's the introduction of the honorable ministers who are part of the official ministerial delegation to receive His Royal Majesty into Trinidad and Tobago. Each of these greetings will be symbolically important. Senator the Honorable Amory Brown has the distinct pleasure on this occasion of introducing each of the representatives and delegates that are here to welcome His Royal Majesty to Port of Spain. These special introductions also afford the right of honor to His Royal Majesty, where, of course, he is greeted with a bow and then, of course, the shaking of hands. As he walks, notice, of course, the umbrella continues to escort His Royal Majesty for the duration of his steps. He is then afforded the opportunity to mount the dais, and it is at this time that we should have the Guard of Honor, represented here, of course, by the Quarter Guard that has assembled. We'll listen at this time. His Royal Majesty has received a salute from the Quarter Guard, whilst other members of the Ghanaian arriving party are escorted to the appropriate vantage point. Very soon he'll make his way into the reception lounge here at the South Terminal at Piarco International Airport. And during the time that he's in the terminal building, it's the responsibility of Customs and Immigration to afford, of course, the necessary procedures. Of course, His Royal Majesty does not have to go through the process in the same manner. His officials and his aides are there to attend to these requirements. And so it'll be a moment of exchanging pleasantries between our ministerial delegation and, of course, His Majesty's delegation. Trinidad and Tobago holds pride of place for Ghana, and as we see them making their way into the lounge here at the South Terminal, let's appreciate that His Royal Majesty is the 16th king that's defending the Asante Kingdom. And the kingdom is recognized, of course, by historically being known as the Kingdom of Gold. Emancipation Day should really be the occasion to see the Asante Hene resplendent in gold as he witnesses the procession and the activities on the 1st of August at the Lijiasu Omawale village. Trinidad and Tobago, as I said, is just about 5,128 square kilometers, whilst Ghana is some 238,533 square kilometers. And if ever you've seen the kente cloth, it's the intricately woven, hand-woven textile that takes a few days, in some cases to many months, to complete. It is originating from the Ashanti region of Ghana. Globally, the print is used in the design of academic stoles in graduation ceremonies. Trinidad and Tobago's Quarter Guard making their way away from the tarmac at this point as they've completed their duty of what is called officially and ceremoniously welcoming His Royal Majesty to Trinidad and Tobago. You're viewing live coverage on TDT Limited of the official arrival of His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, the Asante Hene, at Piarco International Airport at the South Terminal. Pay attention to the fact that Trinidad and Tobago's relationship with Ghana dates as far back as the 1st of July 1881, when the 10th king of Ghana, his son Kofinte, arrived in Trinidad. This was during wartime, and Fort George was actually designed by a true son of the Golden Stool, that is, the king's son Kofinte, as a signal station, and has been preserved ever since. on His Majesty's itinerary is a visit to Fort George, thereby once again revisiting that historic moment back in 1881 when the 10th King's son established Fort George as a signal station. Now, here are some similar words between Trinidad and Tobago and Ghana. If you've ever heard the word susu, kuku, or names like Kwesi or Kwame, they are all Ghanaian names originating from Ghana. So let's not be surprised when we talk about a susu in Trinidad that we're actually making reference to the Ghanaian influence in our country. And if you've had your kuku and callaloo sometime this weekend, you've sampled some more of the Ghanaian cuisine. Just to give you a little bit more, the Asante Kingdom is historically referred to as the Kingdom of Gold. Dance and music are the life and soul of the Asante Kingdom. It's a peace-loving nation. They've been led by their kings who have both been political and spiritual leaders, and up to the present day for Ghana. The nation of Asante is administratively established under the Golden Stool. Now, whilst His Royal Majesty would not have the Golden Stool with him,
we are in a crisis. We are in a crisis.
The Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo had delivered an address to the nation on Sunday to explain the steps the government is taking to see its way out of the current financial turmoil. Ghana is in talks with the International Monetary Fund to reach a deal.
The police didn't want this protest to happen. They banned it, only for the courts to rule it can go ahead.
This is not a Ghana we sign on for. This is not a democracy we know. Our courts have been part of those who are trying to suppress this country. And someday they will bow their heads down in shame.
A sign of larger discontent. Ghana's currency has plummeted against the dollar this past year. That's pushed up the price of imports at a time when inflation is already high. Food and fuel prices have more than doubled.
We can't do anything. If you go to the market, whatever you have, whatever amount you have, you can't buy anything in the market.